You're listening to the Agency Podcast. Marketing strategies for professionals and business owners. Learn from two industry experts who work on the front lines of digital advertising and find out how their agency generates millions of dollars in revenue for their clients. From industry news and trends to practical advice, discover the tools to grow your business online. Here are your hosts, Ryan Leach and James Crittenden, owners of Fresh Move Media.
Okay, welcome to episode 5 of the Agency Podcast. Episode 5, that's the...
This is episode 5.
That means Empire Strikes Back, right? Episode 5.
Correct.
Yes.
If that's what you got from this. Okay.
We have a very special episode. A few things to note. Number one, if you see the production quality of the lighting in our room has gone up significantly, it's because we have a special guest today, which we're excited to have on our show, and that is Aaron Money, who has the perfect name, Aaron Money, and we're excited to have him.
How you doing today?
Thank you for having me.
How you doing today, though?
I'm doing great, actually. It's been a very productive day.
How's business though been for the past couple months?
It's been a little odd. It got, whenever the quarantine and everything first happened, it got crazy busy, and then things kind of calmed down. We were able to actually put down one of the biggest projects from last year, documentary, following a foundation that helps families that are affected by pediatric cancer. So that was a really big edit. We spent probably a solid month total on the edit, and then being able to put that down. And then as soon as we finished that, like the very next day, our schedule just went nuts again. So it's been very strange. Like, we don't really know what's going to happen. Like 4 days from now, we could be completely dead or just completely erratic, losing our minds.
Yep.
So
strange is a good way to describe these times. So
yeah,
no doubt. So as you can tell, Aaron is a commercial videographer, and we have partnered together on a number of projects for Fresh Move Media. So much so that we have gone into business together in a production company,
which is called Arc House Productions.
Yeah, we were pretty excited.
Which we actually haven't made a formal announcement yet.
No,
we have not. I mean, it kind of got.
Is this our formal announcement?
This is our formal announcement. Yeah.
That's right.
Shit, wasn't expecting to do that. So yes, we have another business. Yeah, Ryan, look, you have another business he's starting. Jesus. Arc House Productions. That's ARC House Productions. So Arc. How did we get up? Oh, because it's the story arc.
Yeah.
And then it's
everything. Every kind of film you make should have some sort of arc to it. It shouldn't be just a random collection of images or random collection of clips that just kind of look cool. I think that's a tendency that we see a lot today.
Yeah.
So there should be an arc, there should be a goal, there should be a purpose, and it should be clear.
It's definitely what we're going to talk about today. But yeah, we started Arc House Productions, but it kind of got sidelined a bit with
everything
this
that's
year's.
happened recently.
So, but technically, we do have one production under our belt as far as full-fledged production. So the reason why we started another business called Arc House Productions is because we wanted to have a business that was primarily a production-focused company. Because when someone's looking for video production at a certain scale, they're not looking for a marketing company. They're looking for a production company.
Right.
And then they would hire a marketing company to then advertise that, which we, there's Fresh Move Media, so we have that aspect. But we did a very large commercial scale project for a client, essentially a full-fledged TV regional bank.
Yep.
We had 8, 9 crew members on set, maybe a little bit less than that, but 4 paid actors. We did a casting call, which was mind-boggling and insane. Honestly, did not charge enough for that aspect, but we did a casting call. I think we had like 250 applications within an hour and a half after posting it to the Virginia Production Alliance.
And we weren't even paying that well.
No. Well, the thing is with the acting community, people are willing to do anything just to be an extra is one thing, because that's not speaking. You're just standing around to look pretty or to look ugly, whatever your role is. And you're paid either minimum wage and you're treated like shit. And it's like the one way to get experience. it's better to have that on your resume as an actor or an actress than to have nothing.
Yeah.
Because then, this person knows what it's like to be on a television set or production set or movie set, because the last thing they want is a set shot to be messed up by an extra.
Yeah.
That is the quickest way to be removed from a production set.
Yep.
Like I remember when I was an extra on Turn, you're not supposed to have any personal items on you.
I was actually gonna calculate how long it would take for you to bring up that.
Well,
there you go. Turn. 5 minutes in.
There was no bet, so it doesn't matter. There was an extra that had sunglasses on 2 important shots.
Yeah.
Like he was a red coat with his like fucking Oakleys on.
Stupid.
Baller looking red coat, but
I think if the camera's on you right now, right, you could totally see that you could pull off a red coat. If you shave, right?
I did shave. I didn't like my look as a red coat though. I didn't like it. I did like my look as a French soldier because I had the mustache. So they made me shave everything, which sucked. But then they put a fake mustache on. I'm like, I could have actually shaved to have. I can actually, because they had to have the nice French handlebars, which I can actually do.
Yeah.
I was kind of disappointed with that, but I pulled it off. But anyways, so they're willing to do that, but to get a speaking role is like by far the hardest thing. But once you can get a speaking role and you have a couple of those on your resume, and it's for like a reputable company, not production company, but say television production for a reputable company, that's noticeable. When you go in to then audition for other jobs, when they look at your resume, they're more likely to call you in because, this person has speaking roles. It's how do you get experience without experience type deal. So that's why actors and actresses are willing to do anything. I've seen people do stuff. We're looking to have an actor for this role, and we're going to give you a $25 gift card to the gas station or whatever. It's like that's the most.
Take it.
It's the most insulting thing ever. Yeah. But some people are willing to do it.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Just for the experience. Well, we're
excited.
To
be clear, we didn't pay our actors.
No, we paid.
We paid them a reasonable amount.
we paid them a reasonable. It was very close.
But it was a small budget production. It was not.
It was
on the real. From what most actors get paid, we were paying triple or almost 5 times more than.
It wasn't union pay.
Yeah, it wasn't union pay, but it was.
It was still decent for the amount of time they were there on set.
And we put them up in a hotel room if they were out of area.
Yeah, I did I wanted to create the right impression with us because some production companies don't give 2 shits about the people on set. Yep. Like the level of care is just not there. I didn't want to have that. I didn't want to have that reputation because I've been on that set before, and I'm just like, some of the people who were bossing me around, it's like, I make more money than you, and you're treating me like that's the whole sole point I was on the set for. But I didn't want to have that reputation from that, so that's why we
clarified that. That's
we did not pay him $25 gift card.
Yeah, it was at least 30. No, I'm just kidding.
But I will say, out of the 4 actors we had, one of them had never done a speaking role before, and we took a chance on him.
Yep.
But the other 3 were definitely professional actors, actresses.
Yep.
And like one of them has done commercials for Ford, Sabra, the Martin Agency, a ton of. She wasn't even on Disney at one point. This is Harper we're talking about.
Mm-hmm. She did the wand with Disney.
She did not do the wand with Disney.
For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, YouTube it. It's pretty funny.
It was a Hillary Duff wand.
Hillary Duff with the wand.
Yeah, no. So.
CGI wand.
But yeah, that was our biggest production. It was a 2-day production. It was a 2-day shoot. What was it? From 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. And then that same day, 7 p.m. to 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Which was, and my sleep schedule was off for like 3 days after that.
It was a mess.
It was tough.
Yeah.
Because even like an idiot, I took this small shoot in between.
Did you really?
Wait, yeah.
You never said anything.
You never said that.
Yeah, I was dead on my feet the second shoot. It was 2 days. Yeah, 2 days. So the first night was like it was 7 to. What was it? What time would we get done?
7 a.m. is when we wrapped up. It was
7
the sun had just come up. I remember
and then
that.
Then we started the next day at 7 because we had a 12-hour turnaround.
Yeah.
Legally, you have to have that 12-hour buffer.
So, but in between that, I took a shoot that turned into a second shoot.
Jesus.
So,
Workhorse. I love it.
Yeah, but some of the crew members we had on set were definitely experienced level professionals. As far as what we had a gaffer,
Yeah, if you're ever looking for a gaffer, I want to put a plug out to Brian Croson.
Yeah.
If anybody's looking for a gaffer, really he's a better DP than a gaffer, and he definitely helped out in a lot more ways than just gaffing. If anyone out there is looking for a great DP, I would highly recommend.
So
Brian
for the people
Croson.
listening who don't know what those are, or those terms,
a gaffer is the guy who's basically in charge of. It means master electrician. What that really means is he's the guy in charge of getting all the power to all the lights and making sure
he's not installing electrical outlets.
No, he's not. He's not installing. He's a lot of lights draw a lot of power. So a gaffer is someone who is skilled enough to not flip breakers or just know how to get power to the lights and know how to put the exact right amount of light on your scene.
Without electricity, if you trip a breaker, is not good for.
A director is basically like a baby. The baby just like kind of cries and says, "I need this, I want this," and the DP and the gaffer are
has
people
to make
who
it
actually
happen.
make it happen.
Execute.
They're the people who execute. And
Yeah,
the actors.
he did fantastic work because I remember that space was challenging to light.
Yes, it was. It was a
Reflective
whole lot more
surfaces
than we anticipated.
Yeah.
So we shot in a bowling alley, for those who don't know, River City Roll. I can't say that. I'll say that.
Yeah.
So River City Roll let us use their space for free. Thank you to that. And that space was huge, and the lighting was just very
Yeah, and there was
dim.
like a bar area, right, that we used. We were basically staging it as a restaurant. So.
And
it does look like a restaurant in the final product.
and my shots tend to be a lot wider, which makes a DP and a gaffer's life a lot harder. So most of my shots on the surface level would have been like really easy, but then I was just like, let's just make it really wide and give him lots of headroom. So my sound guy was just like can we please have plates? Plates are basically shots you take so that if a mic were to be in the shot, you could just overlay it, so it wouldn't be seen in the next one.
Yeah, this production we had visual effects involved as well, so we had to do a green screen and then get a.
Yeah, that was really cool having the. So we were advertising an app, and it was really cool because we were able to get the actors interacting with the app that was actually like a hologram that was in the air. So that was a lot of fun.
That they couldn't see themselves. So
they couldn't see themselves. Yeah, so we put up
kind of
green
a Hillary
screens
Duff moment with the
exactly.
They did a way better job though. I will say that.
we did.
Well, what we did is we put up these little green screens, and I gave the actor little dots that were
penciled
small.
on.
Yeah, they were just kind of penciled on, so they would know kind of where they could swipe and move things around.
They did a great job.
Yes,
with that.
they did.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Yep. Well, so let's take a step back here and let's talk about video and film in general from the sense, kind of big picture. You know, there's a lot of ways to mess up video, right?
Yes,
when you think
yes,
about
there is.
audio, lighting, all of the factors and elements that are involved in it. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So the biggest thing is, yes, there are a million technical things, and so there has to be a lot of learning and a lot of screw ups. In fact, screwing up a lot of videos is kind of a prerequisite to being able to make good videos later on.
But before we deep dive into that, why is video important for your business? I think that's a great starting point.
Well, that's a fair point. Yeah.
Because then we get into that aspect as far as why video is important. Then we get into the aspect of, okay, now we know it's important, now we need it. How do we make it effective? So I think it's a great way.
Video is it's a megaphone. If all the different kinds of like social media marketing and all the different kinds of marketing is like somebody shouting in a room full of a room where other people are shouting. You have your graphics, you have your photos, and all of them can get attention, and they'll do their job. But most forms of advertising are like someone shouting, and they're shouting to us. You can only shout so loud. Video just gets about 4 times the attention of any other kind of media. So if you've ever kept track of your social media attention and your reach, you can scroll through your feeds or you scroll through your timeline from the owner of the page's perspective, and you'll see X amount. You'll see, let's just use this for an example. If you'll see, because I see constantly this certain photo reached 200 people, 300 people, 100 people. and then you'll keep scrolling down, and then you'll see this video that's been active for like a week and a half, and it's like 3,000 people.
Yeah.
And it's the exact same page, the exact same effort put into the actual posting of it, same tags and everything, but it's the megaphone.
Yeah. Well, and you also need to consider that in any kind of like graphic or photo that you're putting on social, there's a ton of people that are looking at that photo, but may or may not be engaging with it, right? But at least through video views, you can see how many people have had some kind of interaction with that post. And, platforms like Facebook are pretty solid.
But it's where the attention is at today. The average person is not reading a newspaper or even a magazine article.
Yep.
And obviously you can't put video there.
Yep.
But from a social platform where your eyes gravitate and tend to stay, video is going to play a lot more effective, and it's going to keep someone staring at something if the story in the video is captivating and effective.
Yep.
You can have video, of course. You can put any kind of video on Facebook, but is someone going to watch it?
Yeah, exactly.
If it looks like shit and it sounds like shit, no one's going to watch it.
Yep.
There are, like, so for example, Gary Vaynerchuk forever ago says, "Oh, anyone, you can do video. Just what you need to do. It's the way to go. Just grab a camera and start recording." That's what I did. Yeah, that's what he did in 2001 or whenever he started doing videos for his wine show. Every video on the internet looked like shit.
Yeah.
So you weren't really competing with much. But now, today, you do have to step up your game a little bit because the level of quality you're fighting, like the average like YouTuber that has like 1 million subscribers are now shooting with Red cameras. And if you don't know what a Red camera is, it's like a super overpriced camera that costs, all said and done, maybe $50,000 to $80,000 setup. Do you need that for your business? No. But it's what you're competing against, because you're competing against the attention of other people and where their eyeballs are at.
Not to mention the fact that ads now, big money has moved to Facebook, right? So you think about how Walmart is advertising on Facebook now, right? I mean, so when you think about their film production budget, right, versus a small business, it's crazy.
Right. And to cut you off real quick, around $80 billion is spent every single year. Well, it has been more, and it's decreased every year. Right now, it's about $80 billion a year spent on traditional TV advertising. Yeah. Each year, that goes down. But that money doesn't just disappear or stop being spent. It just migrates to a different platform. Yeah. And it's migrating to Facebook. The reason why Facebook is still profitable as it is today is because, and eventually, as much as I love and hate Facebook, that's why I've invested into Facebook as far as stock, because that money is just going to slowly more migrate in to that platform. Because, again, video. And you look at all the new social platforms, how do they go about? TikTok, primarily video. Yep. I mean, it is technically Vine. Instagram, yes, it's pictures, but video is very effective on that platform. Yep. And then Facebook. Most of the stuff I'm interacting with Facebook is mostly video. So
let's circle back now, right? So you were in the process of saying you make mess ups, you learn from it, you grow from it, and then you improve.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
There's a million technical things that you can do right or wrong. And you kind of have to screw up a lot. And making those mistakes is actually kind of like a prerequisite to being successful in video. Because when you there's no feeling like spending countless hours on a video and just realizing that you've made one little error, like you didn't put your HDMI out as a clean output to your recorder.
A fleck of dust on your screen.
No. all the information that your camera puts out, like all the what aperture you're at, the cross, your rule of thirds grid, all these little things that are on your camera screen are now output on your finished video. And so that is ruined. That is a complete or the recorder didn't start, like your audio didn't start.
Yeah.
Or forgot to hit record.
Oh my God. Yeah. Like
you get the perfect take and it's ruined.
Yeah. And nothing, I think one of the worst things is like audio is nothing will stop your video cold like ruined audio. Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people won't continue watching the video if the audio sounds like crap.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
If it sounds echoey, it sounds like it's recorded on an iPhone. I mean, that's why we invested in these mics that you see here for this podcast, because one, it's 100% mostly listening with your ears, and then we do have the video portion.
Your audio, if you can, and I'll give this as a quick tip to anyone out there who's getting started in video: pay more attention. Pay 80% of your attention to your audio, and give 20% to your video. Because if your visual is screwed up, but your audio sounds great, or if you've planned out your audio and then you put your video to correspond with your audio, like, you are going to have a great video. But if you go the other way around, you're going to have pretty looking pictures. I mean, you basically may as well have taken stills and created a slideshow.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, you can't generate audio out of nothing, right?
Right.
So yeah.
Nothing will ruin your daylight. Nothing will ruin a video like bad audio. But anyway, the biggest mistake is actually not technical. The biggest mistake in video is not having a goal. That's the biggest mistake you can do, is have great technical ability. You can make all the decisions for your image. You can make all the best decisions for your audio. But if you didn't engineer your video from the beginning with a purpose and a goal, then you have just wasted your money.
And the goal, you mean as far as the call to action? Right.
Yeah. Now, this is specifically speaking to commercial video. That's my space. Not my space, but that's the space that I work in.
Yeah.
And it also applies to narrative too. Narrative being like movies, TV, miniseries, stuff like that. It applies to those platforms. But really, if you don't have a goal, if you don't have an end result in mind when you start, and that doesn't mean an end result is not, I want this video to look awesome. Okay, well then just take a bunch of pictures. And then find some way to disseminate them online. But if you don't have, like, we want to increase sales of this product, or we want to we want to get attention for this page, we want to get people here, we want people to message us, if you don't have a clear goal when you come into it, you are setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah, and can you speak more to that? What are some things, end results, that you need to factor in early in the pre-production process when you're putting everything together? Whether that be, I guess, platforms you're going to deliver it on, right? Audience, who you're speaking to.
Yeah, the more specific you can be with who you want to speak to and how you want them to respond, and then how they're going and what avenue they're going to see this in. All of that will engineer the result that you're actually after. For instance, if you say, I want my product to reach 18-year-olds who like a certain thing. Okay, well, your 18-year-olds are probably going to be found on Instagram. So that's...
Or TikTok.
Yeah, or TikTok.
Or Snapchat.
You're going to... So that's going to make a lot of changes in your video, because you're now looking at changing the aspect ratio. Aspect ratio is just basically how the box of the video is shaped, whether it's square, whether it's widescreen, or whether it's vertical. So that changes a lot of things. And
that's a huge point, where delivery totally impacts how your shot selection and everything.
Yeah, it's gonna impact everything. It's going to impact what specific music you're going to choose. It's going to impact how you're going to display the message. It's going to impact what actors you put in there. It's going to impact what kind of content, what kind of story you're going to use to tell, what kind of activity your actors are going to be doing. It impacts everything. And when you come into it from the opposite angle, you're just going to be kind of floundering, and you'll
just
never
trying to be funny with it.
Yeah.
Like most marketing companies or video productions companies I've seen here in Richmond tend to go that route.
Yeah.
They try to do something funny that they think is going to capture the person's attention, but the video sells nothing.
Yeah.
It
tells
me
selling
nothing,
anything.
Doesn't sell me anything. You made a quick video that caught my attention for 30 seconds and 45 seconds, but an hour later, I've already forgotten about your video.
Yep. Or what happens is if as a lot of people get good at getting attention, or they get good at being funny, but they never capitalize on it. They never turn that attention into money. And if if you're not making your money back on your videos, then you are wasting your money, unfortunately. And that's where
you're just coming from an art standpoint.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? Maybe you're having a lot of fun and making videos, and maybe that's all you want. And
can't let the creative get away of the sell.
Yeah.
Well, and if you become too married to an idea up front when there wasn't the well thought out end result in mind, and I think people make that mistake a lot. Not just with video, but in marketing.
That's
in
with
general.
every aspect of marketing. When it comes to website, you can have the prettiest, most slick-looking website, but if your website doesn't sell shit,
you
just spent all this money on what?
And also too many business owners, especially small business owners, right? That we ask when we have these kind of conversations. One of the first things we do when we do a film for a small business is we have a concept meeting, right? Where we're talking through what do we want to accomplish, what's the audience. I can't tell you how many times you've heard this too, Aaron, right? Where they say, "Oh, we really want to appeal to everyone," right? And it's like, well,
bad idea.
Like, no, you don't.
When you talk to,
how big is your budget?
Yeah, exactly, right?
How many videos did you have in mind?
When you try to talk to everyone, you end up talking to no one, especially in this space, right? In the digital space, when they can just literally with the flick of a thumb, like go like that and you're gone.
Yep, you're gone.
Then like you got to be speaking to them.
You've been swiped up, not left or right, up. You're
Yeah,
gone.
that's it. Gone.
And you know what? Okay, so there's a book by Seth Godin, called Purple Cow.
Purple Cow, yeah.
And so here's why people want to appeal to everyone. Back in the day, if you had a product that appealed to the general public, and you marketed that to the general public, you would get your money back. In fact, TV is what built a lot of our economy through 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. And TV is people say that TV is dead. I think that TV is just barely holding on to its last thread.
Yeah.
And you are not reaching everyone anymore. Everyone is in there. It's like everyone used to be in the same room, and now everyone has gone to their separate rooms. So you can't talk to the entire country anymore.
Yeah, physically, right? Even in the house, right?
Yep.
Because they're on different devices in different rooms versus the family sitting down in front of the TV. Right?
Some people,
and if they are in front of the TV, they're on their devices in front of the TV.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Some people exclusively interact with media on only their cell phone, and so
Seth Godin has a great line that it says, and I've used this. It's actually we use it in our marketing for Lux Metal Card. It's just in our email subject line. But in a crowded marketplace, fitting in is a failure. In a busy marketplace, not standing out is the same as being invisible.
Absolutely, and that's from the book that I'm actually referencing.
Yeah.
So what happens is if you are just spitting out a message to everyone, you are the guy in the room that is just shouting with everyone else. And so the reason the book is called Purple Cow is that when you are driving across a field and you see a herd of cattle, you don't look at every single one. You look at one or two, and you make assumptions on the rest of the herd based on the one or two, unless one of them happened to be painted purple.
And that would grab my attention.
And that would grab your attention.
Maybe crash too.
Yeah. So it's no longer safe to just be like, we want to appeal to everyone because, well, it doesn't work, unfortunately.
Yep.
You have to have a specific goal and just really pinpointing what you want and who you want it from is going to, and starting that with your video production is going to.
And actually, I would say a company that's done that really effective is actually Coca-Cola. From a branding standpoint and a marketing standpoint, their marketing is not the same across region, not even state to state. Mm-hmm. It varies state to state, and they have whole marketing teams for each different region to market to that local audience. So an ad for Coca-Cola in Brazil is nowhere going to match an ad that's in, say, Virginia or somewhere in the South versus an ad that's up in upstate New York or even in California.
Yep.
The verbiage is different, and they don't have the ads they might have, yes, they do have generic ads, but they definitely do have ads that you will never see in your local area because they're catering to that audience.
Yeah, for the same reason that they sell, literally the ingredients to Coke are different in different countries, right? You can go to a different country, it tastes completely different. Right?
Tastes way better, actually.
Much better. Well, it depends on what it is.
I would say going to Mexico or getting
it does take real sugar.
When it's made with real sugar,
Yeah.
it does. There's a huge difference.
Yes.
So, but
That's the difference.
Mexican Coke, that can be taken to two different literals. But anyways,
well, let's talk a little bit more about. I mean, I know you could probably geek out for like an hour or two on equipment alone.
Oh yeah,
just that, right?
And there's some really interesting stuff happening in that arena.
That and the amount of money that's spent. I mean, yeah, you could be effective with video on an iPhone to a point, though. And Apple does boast, like some of the commercials they've recently done, they've shot it entirely on iPhone. Yes, but they also have professional level editors, and it's still run like a television production.
Oh, it's lit, and it's still lit professional.
Again, it's the lighting that gets it perfect, and then also the audio is done by professional.
Yeah.
That audio is definitely not coming from the iPhone.
Right. Yep.
I think they did a commercial with like Lady Gaga and something, and it looked amazing,
I think it was
but
a
it
music
sounded
video.
it sounded perfect. Again, they did not use the inboard microphone for the iPhone for that.
Yeah. Basically, they're telling you that their image capture is getting sufficient.
And then they shot it
becoming more sufficient.
Right, and they shot it in RAW, and then they have professional color graders. So in post, they make it look like it's perfect. So yes, you can get that level of production, but you got to have pros in order to do that.
Yeah, the skills still have to exist.
But like another company that did that really well was GoPro. Every year when they come out with the new version, they have this really cool montage video, and all the video looks amazing, how it's all put together, but it's all edited fairly well. Mm-hmm. But then when you get a GoPro camera and you do it yourself, it's like,
look the same.
Like what the hell? What the hell?
Yeah, I saw a storage container commercial that was actually about people turning storage containers into offices and homes, and it was shot with a GoPro, and I was just so blown away because they put they put one of the newer GoPros on a is it POV drone, FOV, POV, whatever. They put it on one of those drones, and like they were flying underneath people's arms, and I was just like, what am I doing?
This is what's funny is whenever we talk to you about something and something that's like really well done, right? It's like, I wish that was mine.
I wish that I could be good enough.
But
that's great.
Most of that just comes from trying, doing, and failing and at it. So.
Yeah, I mean, you would say you're self-taught, right? You've
100%. Yeah. Well, I can't say I'm
YouTube University.
Yeah, exactly. My whole learning was YouTube University. I had no skills in video or anything, and I had no intention of doing video. Had no interest in it. And found out my wife was pregnant, and I was working at Starbucks, and I was like,
"Wait, you worked at Starbucks?"
I did for like 4 years, and
you were a barista,
bro. I was amazing.
Do you spell everyone's names correctly or incorrectly?
I did spell names correctly 100% of the time.
When I was venting to you, remember at that networking meeting, I was venting to you about the Chick-fil-A coffee and how terrible it was, and then you were like, "Well, you know why it is," and I'm like, "I don't know." And he's like, "Well, here's why you're tasting the sourness."
Yeah, no, and you know what? I loved working at Starbucks. I loved the whole Coffee Master program and everything. Yeah. So having nothing will put fear in your life like having a kid. So I was like, something's got to change. So I actually got into graphic design because I took a personality test, and they were like, "Hey, you should be a problem solver. Graphic designers are problem solvers. All right, let's do it."
Nice.
And so I like the very first week, I just like visited every website. I was spending like probably 40, 50 hours a week just like learning everything I could on graphic design. And I started doing graphic designs for realtors, and I would work 8 hours on a flyer, which is obnoxious. You should not work 8 hours on a flyer.
That's not for a real estate agent.
No. Like I was just crazy obsessed with mastering it, and really that is what it takes. Is just being just kind of imbalanced mentally when it comes to learning. Like you
almost obsessive on it, right?
Completely obsessive. And I started learning everything I could about graphic design, and these realtors would give me these horrible pictures after I'd spent 8 hours on this on this
like
flyer.
A fuzzy JPEG.
And I was exactly. No, they would give me worse than, I don't know, like, what is worse than a phone? Because that's what they had.
Polaroid.
It was it was a flip phone.
Yeah, it was the absolute worst. Like, and so they would give me these just god awful pictures, and they wanted all of them in the flyer. And so I was like, look, I can do this. And that was incredibly arrogant because I found out that real estate photography is one of the most complicated types of photography that there is.
And they wanted it at the cheapest price.
Yeah. And so, but that turned out to be a great avenue because I had clients that wanted video. And so so I was just like, yeah, I'll do video.
So they just gotta say yes, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I do that.
They say, you do video, right? Yep, done video my whole life.
I mean, we kind of did that
Yeah.
at the start of the business.
You always got to say yes to things.
Yeah,
When
we had
we
that-
started the
Absolutely.
business, we had so many business owners that would ask us, do you do this? Do you do this?
We
And
said yes.
The answer is always yes, and you figure it out.
And
right?
you
It's
spend
like,
all freaking night, if you have to, learning to do it.
So
knock it out of the park.
the best story on
Exactly.
that one is when we did that for the bike shop. So we
It
were
was like,
doing
yeah,
this
do you do like eBay stores?
eBay stores. So he had all this inventory he needed to liquidate.
Yeah.
Because he had been sitting there on the shelf for like 5 years, and he didn't know how to obviously take photos and put them online.
And we were building
on
the website.
Put it on
Yeah.
the line, right?
Yeah, on the line.
And he wanted us to help him do this because he didn't have the patience to upload each product individually, find the price.
Well, there's also
research
some
the price.
technical differences there too,
Yeah.
like him being able to understand how to
And it was it would have been a nightmare for him. The guy's like 65, 70 years old.
Yep.
And he said, "Can you guys help us liquidate all this inventory on eBay?" And we're like, "Yep."
yeah, we'll do it.
Definitely.
Highly underestimated
do
amount
that
of
all the time.
Yeah.
By the way,
it's,
this is not just like 10 products. It was at least
like
500-600 products.
Oh yeah, and it's
individual
because-
SKUs.
and every single one is like a different size, metric size nut or bolt or whatever.
Like
It's
some
different-
pieces were this big, some
different
pieces.
Harleys. Yeah, it was crazy.
It was, and he sold a lot. It just, we're never doing that again. I mean, I will do it again, but I'm going to charge you a pretty penny to where it doesn't make sense for us to do it. So,
But that's what happens. You say yes to things, right?
Yeah, you
and
say
so
yes to
from that
things
you
and
learn.
Yeah, you just make it happen. Like, don't wait until everything's perfect. I think that's the biggest mistake. I don't know. Maybe this is part of my personality, but I feel like when it comes to some things in your life, you just have to like bull in a china shop, just get in there, screw up, and become like learn from your mistakes and become better.
the willingness to fail. See, and that's the thing with a lot of entrepreneurs is that they keep going. They buy all these seminars. They go through all these click funnels, that they see on Facebook to buy this seminar. This next thing is going to make you $1 million. Oh, or this person made $1 million on Amazon in 3 months. It's like almost this quick scheme to make money real quick. But they keep taking these courses and then they actually never do anything because they want everything to be perfect because they don't want to mess up.
Yep.
It'll never be perfect.
But
Yep.
I guarantee you that person who made the $1 million in the Amazon store didn't wait for it to be perfect. They probably sucked at it for a bit and then they learned from their mistakes and readjusted to then get to that point.
Yep.
Because when we started Fresh Move, we definitely were not perfect. I had never I've built websites before, but I never really marketed it, nor I ever sold it as like my sole source of income. I did it just, hey, someone saw a website I built, like, hey, can you build me one? Sure, I'll do it. I'll charge you $500. Definitely do not charge you $500 today. But we adjusted and we've gotten better with time,
Yep.
and then we've grown to what we are today. And are still
series
growing.
of series of YouTubing how to do this in Premiere Pro.
And we still make mistakes.
Yeah, yeah.
And the mistakes are different. But we learn from them, ideally, and then we readjust. So
Yep. So and so real estate photography became videography, and then I don't know. I just had weird obsessions with like mastering things, and so the more I got into video, like I got into video kicking and screaming because someone was like, "Do you do video?" I was like, "I need money." Yes, I do.
Do you remember who
Don't
that
wanna
person
do it.
was?
Yes, I do remember who it was.
Oh,
I don't know if I want to mention it because that video is one of the worst ever. I mean, and the audio is just complete trash. There's air conditioner noise more than the noise of their voice.
That's rough. The HVAC.
Yeah, it was just so bad. But it was a start.
Yeah.
And things got better. And
Go have the willing to suck.
you gotta be willing to screw up. It's a prerequisite to success, I think. Yep. But anyway, yeah. So the more I got into video, I was like, oh, this is actually kind of awesome. And I'm kind of a technical person, so like I latch onto the technical things, and then the creative doesn't come as naturally. So the creative it just like anything, the more you work at it, you develop a muscle, and then you can start working harder at it, and you get better at it. And so real estate video gave way to production video, and which is started to become commercial video, and now documentaries, which is a ton of fun. A grueling amount of work, but just so
like Tiger King?
Rewarding.
Like the Tiger King documentary.
That's a whole different animal there.
I'm impressed by the level of
the editing on that, unbelievable.
Amount of time spent over the course of years.
I think one of my favorite moments from that, I think it's like episode 2 or 3 maybe, and it's when Doc Antill, is that his name? I think, yeah. The guy who's rocking the
cowboy hat,
and he tells them that this is how they should shoot the shot.
Yep, and they put it in there.
They kept it in. They kept it. He says,
put it
you should come around to the front, and I'll open the door. And then the director's like, this guy's even better at directing than I am. And they kept it in.
I think he was being sarcastic.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know. It's great, and I love that they kept it in. It was
because
awesome.
I think they were making a point about him.
Yeah,
they were making a point that this guy is you can tell like he wants to
control
control
freak.
everything, everything that there is, like everything that he's involved with. So I think they were showing that, and that just using editing to show that. And that's one of my new things that I'm learning so much about is, the first thing that came to me was the technical and learning the technical and making sure everything, the message is actually getting across and all that. But now editing for a result, like editing to create tension in the viewer, editing to grab the viewer's attention, editing to just tell the story. Mm-hmm. It's pretty interesting.
And one other thing that comes to mind when you think about like social video, right? We talked about audio has to be great. Video quality matters.
Image quality is everything too.
Yep. But then there's even little things, right? Like captions, having captions on a video.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, because how many people nowadays watch these videos literally on the toilet? Right? I mean, and that happens like all the time
at work.
And it's like they're watching these videos in a place. Maybe they're in a waiting room.
How many people on Bumble have you matched while sitting on the toilet?
There you go. Right, that's a good question.
You met your future wife or husband,
sitting
whatever,
on a toilet
while you're taking a shit.
Yep.
So,
but I mean that matters, right? Because if I can't tell you how many times throughout the course of the day I'm watching a video without even putting the sound on, right? And don't get me wrong, if it's good enough, I'm going to rewatch it with the sound on.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
So that still very much matters.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a little detail that people overlook.
Yeah, captivating visuals and captions can cause someone to go deeper at the video. So captivating visuals are very important at the outset of your video, like at the very front of your video.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Really important.
I got a question.
That's what's going to keep people moving to the next second.
So obviously we want high quality video, we want high quality audio, we want all this great stuff. Cost.
Oh.
Getting the business owner to understand what makes sense as far as in pricing. Because the problem I've noticed is, just like in website design, there are people who think we can build a website for $500 or $1,000. And I'm sorry, I'm just going to laugh or chuckle depending on who you are. Yeah. It's like, no, you're not going to get a quality website for that much. Yeah. Same thing with video, because we do have people in this market and across all over the place that will do, or say they will do video production for $100 or $250 or $500. And you look at the quality they put out, but the person has been told, they need to do video, which is true.
Yes,
but you need to do
looking
it right. So what makes sense as far as price ranges right now? How do you convince the business owner to spend that much more money
This is
versus being cheap with it.
This is why that goal is important, because once you have that goal, and you know, like let's say you're a dentist, okay, and you want to sell more implants because you make a ton of money on that. And if you can increase your dental implant sales by X amount,
it's a high margin service that you like doing.
You now have an idea of a profit that you're going to get. What would you pay to get that? Yeah. That's why you have to have like video. People are doing video because they're being told to do videos, and so they're doing it as a checkbox, and they just want it to look awesome, and they think that they don't want to spend any money on it because they're not thinking of what they're going to get back. You have to have a goal, and you have to have the part of that goal needs to be, this video is going to make the money that we put into it back, and that's when you're going to start willing to be spending more, because crap, we make more money every time we hire this guy.
Yeah.
If you're just hiring someone that's going to make funny videos or just going to make
or show up the day of the shoot and there's no pre-production at all.
Mostly running gun.
You know?
Yeah.
Pre-production is so important, and that's the thing that really separates someone who's a professional commercial filmmaker versus someone who is just a videographer. A videographer is someone who shows up, films, and just edits the best that they can get out of it. And someone who is a commercial filmmaker is there to make sure that their clients get their money back. That's why I don't like making videos that have no goal or can't, or the success of the video can't be measured.
Yeah, the average television production commercial cost is around anywhere from $250,000 to $400,000, and a lot of that goes into the pre-production because the planning stages. So like when we do a video, we have a concept meeting, and that's usually 60 to 90 minutes, where we're going through the idea of this video, kind of do some storyboarding depending on what it is, shot location scouting, places that we think we could shoot it,
ideas for B-roll,
tone of voice of the video, B-roll.
But then also like delivery even, right? So what platform we're going to deliver it on? Are we shooting it 1:1, 9:16?
So all those aspects. And then also time frame. So there's a lot that goes into the pre-production, and then obviously what people you have to hire.
Script writing. Yeah.
Some people think the best person to speak on the video is the business owner, and a lot of times that is the worst decision to make.
Yeah.
No, a lot of times it makes sense unless that business owner is the focal point of the business.
Yeah, like James River, like James River Air, like they've attached a personality to.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Or like if you think of like Progressive with Flo.
Yeah.
She does not work for Progressive.
She used to.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. She was
so is that where she started?
Yeah, she was an employee.
Wow. Interesting. Hired from within. Nice.
But even then, she still doesn't work for.
Right. Now she's fully the spokesperson.
She's not the CEO of Progressive.
Yeah.
Correct.
Correct.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yep.
You want to get someone that can speak well on camera and deliver it, that message effectively, but also do it in the shortest amount of time. Because if you get someone that's not good on camera, you're going to be on set for a lot longer.
Yep.
So that's another thing you got to
you save money, but okay. So for instance, think of this: that actor is one person. The amount of people behind the camera and it's not only going to take you longer on set, it's also going to take you a lot longer in post, because that person is going to have a lot more footage to wade through and a lot more takes to wade through, and they might have. The first part of their line is good at this one take, and then the latter part of the line is better at this other take that's like 15 takes separated, and so they have to mash them together, and they have to make it look like they weren't just mashed together. So they have to do a lot more work. And
some
trying
people
to get
think
that to
being
happen.
an actor, it's not the hardest job on the planet, but people think being an actor is easy. Oh, you just talk.
Oh God.
It's not like that, unfortunately.
Yeah. Go ahead. I encourage anyone who is a director or anyone who wants to be a director to act or to go to an acting class. You'll be humbled real quick.
Oh yeah.
You'll be humbled real quick when a director is looking at you saying, "No, I need you to say it like this," and you have no idea how to fix it, and you're just like,
deer in headlights.
When you're put on this, it's when you're put on the spot.
Absolutely.
Then it's the whole stage fright, public speaking notion, and that's like one of the biggest fear of most people is that, and so. Yes, acting is not an easy thing.
No, it's a craft. It's a craft that people can be good or bad at.
Yep.
Right.
So it makes money sense to use actors and good actors.
There's a lot of moving parts on a TV production or even
I mean, actually,
production.
maybe you speak to this too, right? Even let's say business owners listening right now, right? And they're a small business owner, don't have a huge budget, but are willing to invest something into video.
Okay.
What's the best route for them to go? Should they try to buy all of this equipment themselves, do it themselves, or should they hire somebody to do it?
If they want to be a video production company, then sure, go ahead
There
and buy
you
the
go,
equipment.
right? There you go.
Because it's a mountain of learning.
Yeah.
It really, really is. It's not just the camera. Like the camera is secondary. Like
It
I mean,
is.
if the camera, like the iPhone is now good enough in some scenarios to put stuff on TV, but they didn't use the CEO's nephew to film it.
No.
They didn't use Lady Gaga's niece to go over there and film her video. No, they used someone who knows what they're doing.
Right.
So like the know-how is more important than anything, and it is a mountain of learning, and it's overwhelming sometimes, and it's crazy that you can be so many years in and still find out things that are just like a whole new freaking world because it's still changing. It can be discouraging when you're on set and you're like, oh, this is a whole new scenario.
I mean, it can get expensive real quick if you try to do it yourself. Like, I mean, for that production shoot we did for the bank, the lens we had we rented it because the lens was $15,000 retail value just for the lens.
Yep.
And then the camera, I think, was either another 12 or 15 on top of that, all said and done.
I mean, everything's expensive.
Yeah,
Mics are
so-
expensive. I mean,
you're looking at $30,000 to $40,000 for a basic camera setup that's of great quality, and then you also have to know how to operate that camera. It's not like a simple hit record and you're good to go.
Yeah, I would no. So if someone is looking to put like daily videos up of themselves, yes, film that yourself. You're going to outstrip your ability to pay for that. And when something is a daily message out to the clients, something like that, no, it's not worth. People have a different expectation. And that is more geared toward just keeping the attention that you already have.
It's a vlog.
Yeah. But if you're looking to reach a new audience and you're going into people who are being introduced to your company cold, then that's where production value is really important.
Oh, yeah.
Because it just no one
It
wants
is. I mean,
to,
if you're talking to a current client, right, that you have a relationship built with, and it's a little bit of a grainy video, or it's not that impressive, you can get away with it a little bit.
Yep.
But you're right. If you're pitching a new product or a service, or you're trying to really grow your brand awareness, it's got to be done the right way.
Yep.
I would say the best example I can use as far as doing effective video marketing would be all the videos that Harmon Brothers have put out.
Yes.
So Harmon Brothers put out Purple Mattress, Squatty Potty,
Poopery.
Poopery. But with Squatty Potty, that was, I think, the one thing that really put them on the map as far as
Purple and Squatty Potty.
Yeah.
With the unicorn that was,
Pooping rainbows.
Pooping rainbows.
Yep.
And it just, they focus heavily on the pre-production aspect.
Yes.
First.
They are, like, I think they are the...
geek out on this a little bit.
Yeah,
I
they are
wanna hear
hands
your
down my
thoughts.
favorite. They are the. I think they're just the best. I think they're the best marketing agency out there, and I think they're just amazing. And most of it is their approach. They are very much pre-production, goal oriented, and they like everything about them is everything about all the videos that they put out is goal oriented. And they get freaking results. They take companies that had very little money and shelled out everything they had to make these commercials. And they
don't do that anymore now. Now they're a lot more selective as far as who they work with.
Well, of course. But they actually have what's called a writer's retreat. And this is really amazing. They actually spend an entire week with a couple of the representatives from the company and writers, and they go out to a cabin or they go out to a beach house, wherever they go out to. But they spend like a week or 2 weeks together on a single script that every day, all day, just like making it happen so that when they show up to shoot, like they have a killer idea and a killer goal and they rake in money.
And, you know, it's evident, right? Because you can, even in the dialogue that they use in their script, it's so impressive. You can tell it's well thought out because what they do is they lean into objections so well.
Yes, they
where
do.
it's like the second something pops into your head, like, well, what about this? They're like, now you're probably thinking this.
You're right. I was thinking that.
It's like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what I was thinking. So
Getting a little weird, guys.
and they knock it out of the park. It's amazing. Yeah.
Essentially, the way they do that, it also equates to the same people in the music industry. So like artists, I saw some documentary on Ed Sheeran on how when he was writing his, like, I forget what album it was, but he spends like a good month to 2 months, and it's not just him. He has a whole like team of people, and they're just all day just pumping out random tunes, and he's humming and doing all this stuff, trying to come up with words. And it's interesting seeing from the concept of one song to what's now like a major hit. So yes, script writing and storytelling is important.
Yeah.
So
It's what's going to make, so pre-production is what's going to make the difference between you getting your money back and you just sinking a bunch of money a bunch of times into video.
and trying to just be funny with it.
Whatever, yeah. You know, you can be funny, you can be cool looking, you can give other companies envy because your video looked better than theirs. But I mean, at the end of the day, you're a business. You got to make your money back.
Yep. Well, this has been enlightening, man. No doubt.
Oh, I feel like we can keep talking for more hours about this.
We talk for a lot. I
Red
would
versus
like to,
Alexa.
I would like you to make a
man.
plug real quick for the different what you're seeing in the camera market right now.
Okay, so this is
How
really
things
cool.
are changing.
So the camera market is drastically changing right now, and it's very exciting because for the longest time, cameras have been like, you were professional if you had a camera that was huge. And now cameras are getting smaller and smaller, and they're getting more affordable. And so guys who are creative and guys who are scrappy are able to put out videos that look like they were shot by a major production company. And it's exciting to see that. I mean, it's kind of like David and Goliath. You know, you want David to just like knock that sucker out. And and especially you're just seeing the ability to do all this being put in the hands of many. And
That's awesome for small businesses, right? So they can get big business production quality for less.
So
yeah,
like
so you're able to, what is it? The law of diminishing returns.
Yep.
I think we are right now in the sweet spot, like the single operator or the small production company is in the sweet spot because they're able to put out this quality, and they don't have the overhead that some of these massive production companies are going to have. And the difference in the image is, yes, the big production companies are going to give you a better image, and they're going to give you better audio, and all the technical stuff is going to be great. And you know what? If they've invested in their script writing, then that's going to be great too.
So it'll all be slightly better, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not mountains better.
Yeah, the people who can tell the difference between that extra little bit
Are
few and
not your
far between.
clients.
Yeah,
The people who can tell the difference are not your clients.
Yeah, it's people in the industry, right?
Yeah, it's people in the industry, and that's amazing.
Yeah.
the ones
fact
who
that
are judging you, but the clients are not.
Yeah.
the clients are paying you.
Yeah, that's what matters.
The ones who are judging you aren't paying you.
Right.
And that's awesome.
But with as technology advances, but like in the creative aspect, did you see the movie 1917?
I haven't yet, but
But the whole
huge
you know,
I've
the,
heard about it.
You know the whole concept though,
yeah,
where
it was
it's
one shot.
Well, obviously it wasn't shot in one shot, but
Right.
edited together, and it was amazing. But the other movie, Extraction, on Netflix,
Oh yeah.
that 12-minute scene, that it's like the longest 12-minute action scene ever produced. If you watch that,
It's incredible. It's like a car chase that turns. It's like they're running and then it turns into they get into a car and it turns into a car chase.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that shot
pretty
where they
amazing.
come in the window.
Where
of
they
the
come
car.
inside the car. Yeah. It was
Yeah,
very nice.
I watched the behind the scenes on that, and it was captivating. So, and the camera they had was, I mean, it was definitely an expensive camera, but it was definitely a lot smaller than you couldn't.
Probably the RE Mini, right?
That or I don't know, it was that or a red. I don't remember. But you could not have done that type of shot maybe 5 to 10 years ago.
No, yeah. Cameras are getting smaller. Cameras are getting more mobile, and it's because it's all about heat management, because certain, there's computer processors in cameras now, so the processor puts off heat, and so the more efficient the processor is, the less heat it puts off, meaning it requires a smaller body. And so the more processors get more efficient and put out less and less heat, that means the bodies of cameras are shrinking. And so now we have little mirrorless cameras that can put out amazing quality stuff that 90% of your audience can't tell. And then when you spend a little bit more, almost no one can tell. And then and the next step up goes from like right now, I think one of the best cameras on two cameras on the market are the C300 Mark III and the C500 Mark II. One is 11,000, one is 16,000. I don't think if you are not in the industry, you are not telling the difference between those and a $50,000 camera.
That's amazing. It's amazing.
It really is.
I remember us having that discussion about clients and expectations. And it's important for clients to know that sometimes that camera technology is improving, which means they won't see this big clunky camera. Yeah. But it doesn't mean you're getting worse.
Don't worry, we're not showing up with our iPhones.
Yeah. Oh man, that's interesting.
Well, it's a great segue though now into the meme review.
Meme review.
So,
let's
all
do
right,
it.
So this segment, we'll let the intro play. This segment is essentially where once a week, at the end of the podcast, James finds a meme, I find a meme, and we review each other on a score of 1 to 10. And you can give decimal points, so you can do 5.2 or. Okay. I don't know if you've seen Dave Portnoy's from Barstool Sports, his pizza reviews, which are like the best thing on the planet to watch, by the way.
He never gives like a 7.0.
It's a rookie score.
It's a rookie score. So it's like a 7.2.
One bite, everyone knows the rules. El Presidente. Sorry. So we did my meme first last time, so we'll do yours.
Okay. And we're gonna let Aaron pick today, right? Or
we'll let him pick out of the two.
Are we still rating each other here? Is that
no? We'll just let him.
Okay, we'll let him do it.
Right, but it's supposed to, when you see it, read it out loud to the odd people who are not listening, and describe what you're seeing. I'm gonna play the music when you're ready to score, and then think about it, and then let me know when you're ready. Then I'll do the final tone.
All right, so I'm going to throw it up on the screen, or you want to jump on the screen here?
You could do it.
Right, here we go. All right, first one.
That's an impressive screen, by the way. I will say that.
So
okay, it says highest level of advertising, and it has Microsoft Paint opened on a billboard on the side of a stadium. It looks like it says, "We are looking for graphic designer."
In terrible writing.
It's like someone used their mouse to paint the word, to paint the letters in. So yeah, they need help for sure.
There's no call to action. There's no logo. Where do I apply?
Oh man!
All right. I'm curious though if this is actually real.
You gonna put the music on here and then let him score?
So let's make sure we're on the right thing.
Because without the music, it's not official.
Right.
Given that, I think that.
Nope, that's not it.
Nope. There it is.
All right, Aaron. Your opinion on this meme?
Scale of 1 to 10.
1 to 10.
I give this a solid 8.5.
8.5.
I love it. Generous with the numbers.
Well,
I will take it.
Coming from a background of terrible graphic designs,
this is it right here.
This speaks to me.
So,
I think this is actually mine.
That was your first one, right? That was.
All right, my meme is more into the current climate.
All right, officers apprehending rebels and taking them before their lord governors. One of the social distancing rebels.
Have you seen The Patriot? The movie?
Yes.
That's where they have the fake
exactly
the scarecrows.
Yeah, the fake scarecrows.
Yeah, it's got the guy out. So there's a guy on a beach, and there's like three.
You keep doing that.
There's 3 police officers coming up on him.
All right. So this is not. You don't compare it to the other meme as far as the score. It's just on a scale of 1 to 10, from a meme point. How do you rate this?
I'm gonna give this one
have a feeling it's going to be a little bit lower.
It is a little lower.
Because it's not graphic design. It doesn't hit the heart.
It doesn't hit me as much. I'm going to give this a 6.5.
6.5.
Oh, man. We don't have like a more like a depressing one.
I think I do. I think it's more.
That's it. I love it. All right. Very good.
All right. So obviously, which one you're going to choose. It's going to be the advertising one. That's your favorite.
Yeah. It looks. If there's somebody out there that just found out their wife is pregnant and they're looking for a job, you could do that.
That's right. That's it.
If that's the level, if that's the expectation, you can fill it. I promise.
The first portfolio piece right there.
But hey, it is impressive to get someone to be able to do that on that big of a screen on that side of the building.
100% they're getting people's attention.
Yes. That's right.
Or there was that one, have you seen the meme where someone posted or was texting all the show info that they wanted to turn into a graphic for info on when the show was going to be released? And all the person did was screenshot the iMessage and then framed it.
Yeah.
And it was the message of all the show details.
That's what it was. Yeah, it was happy hour.
Happy hour
specials. And it had listed out, and they just took it, printed it off, and put it up there.
When you're creative, but you got no skills.
So great. Well, hey, Aaron, we're so appreciative of you coming on today. I know it was a little bit of a longer episode, but we covered a lot of stuff, I felt like. So
thanks for having me. I love talking about this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Kind
I know you could talk for 2 more hours. So.
I definitely could.
We'll definitely have you back. So this is our first 10 episodes are just going to be a broad overview over a couple of stuff, and then future episodes are going to be more deeper dives and more technical aspects. So we could definitely geek out on one podcast. It might be boring to some people, but exciting for some as far as getting down to the tech aspect of video production. So
definitely.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
Well, hey, thank you everyone for joining and listening, and make sure you tune in next week for episode 6. Have we discussed?
We have not decided yet.
Yeah,
but there will be an episode.
Something cool. There will be another one.
There will be another one.
We'll have one more. No, we'll have many more. But episode 6 next week. Thanks for your time.
That's a wrap.
Thanks for tuning in. Like what you're hearing? Then make sure to subscribe on iTunes and YouTube. Stay tuned to next week's episode from the Agency Podcast.